June 9, 1961, 6:47 a.m. Bumpy Johnson walked out of Sing Sing prison carrying everything he owned in a paper bag. 55 years old, gray in his hair, 11 years behind bars. The guards expected him to look broken, defeated, like every other old convict who'd lost the best years of his life to concrete and steel. Instead, Bumpy straightened his collar, adjusted his fedora, and smiled. Because while everyone thought Harlem had moved on without him, Bumpy had spent 11 years planning exactly how to take it all back. 7 days. That's all it took, 168 hours. And by June 16th, every gangster, numbers runner, and street soldier in Harlem would remember one simple truth: you don't take the throne when the king is still breathing. To understand what Bumpy walked into that June morning, you need to understand what happened to Harlem while he was gone. 1950, Bumpy got arrested on federal conspiracy charges, sent to Alcatraz first, then transferred to Sing Sing. 11 years, long enough for empires to crumble, long enough for new players to rise, long enough for everyone to forget who really built the kingdom. When Bumpy went away, he controlled everything north of 110th Street. Policy banks, numbers rackets, protection money, union influence. Every business that wanted to operate in Harlem paid tribute, not because Bumpy was violent, because he was fair. He protected the community, kept outside gangs away, made sure black businesses thrived. But 11 years is a lifetime in the underworld. By 1961, Harlem had been carved up like a Thanksgiving turkey. 3 main players had moved in. First was Marcus "Smooth" Henderson, Bumpy's former protege, the man Bumpy had trusted to hold things together. Instead, Smooth had made a deal with the Genovese family, gave them Bumpy's policy banks in exchange for being allowed to run 125th Street. Second was Raymond "the Turk" Williams, a numbers banker from Philadelphia who'd moved to Harlem in 1956, took over everything from 135th to 145th. Brutal, efficient, didn't care about community, only cared about profit. Third was the Italians themselves. The Genovese family had been waiting for an opportunity to control Harlem for decades. The moment Bumpy went to prison, they moved in, not directly. They were too smart for that. They worked through intermediaries, through Smooth, through legitimate businesses that fronted illegal operations. By June 1961, Harlem was a war zone. 3 different organizations fighting for control, shootings every week, businesses getting extorted by multiple gangs, families caught in crossfire. The community that Bumpy had protected was suffering, and everyone had accepted it. This was just how things were now. Bumpy Johnson was gone. The old order was dead. Get used to the new bosses, except Bumpy Johnson wasn't dead. He was just patient. 11 years in prison. Most men would have gone insane, would have emerged broken, bitter, ready to die in one last blaze of glory. But Bumpy had used that time differently. He read, studied, kept in contact with people on the outside through coded letters. He knew exactly who had taken over, knew their operations, their weaknesses, their alliances, and he'd spent 11 years planning exactly how to dismantle them. Not with violence, with psychology. June 9th, 1961, Day 1, 7:30 a.m. Bumpy didn't go home, didn't see his wife Mamie, didn't rest after the 3-hour drive from Sing Sing. He went directly to Small's Paradise, on 135th Street, his old headquarters, the place where he'd run his empire. It was early. The club was closed, but Bumpy had a key. He'd given it to the owner, a man named Charlie, back in 1950. Told him, "Hold on to this, I'll be back for it someday." Charlie had kept it for 11 years. Bumpy unlocked the door, walked into the empty club, the stage where Count Basie used to play, the bar where Harlem's elite used to drink, the back office where Bumpy used to plan operations. Everything was the same, but everything was different. Charlie came down from upstairs, saw Bumpy standing in the middle of his old kingdom. Charlie's face went pale. "Mr. Johnson, you're out, I'm out, and I want my office back." Charlie hesitated. "Mr. Johnson, things have changed. Smooth Henderson runs this block now. He's not going to just let you walk back in." Bumpy walked to the bar, poured himself a drink from Charlie's private stock. "I'm not asking Smooth's permission. This is my club, my street, my neighborhood. By next Friday, everyone will remember that." Charlie wanted to believe him. But Bumpy was one man, 55 years old, fresh out of prison, up against 3 organizations with hundreds of soldiers. It seemed impossible. That's why Bumpy's first move shocked everyone. He didn't hide, didn't lay low, didn't start small. At 10 a.m. on June 9th, Bumpy Johnson walked into the First Unity Bank on Lenox Avenue. The bank manager, a white man named Robert Morrison, looked up from his desk. "Can I help you?" Bumpy sat down. "Without being invited, I need to see my account." Morrison was confused. "I'm sorry, sir. We'd need your account number." Ellsworth Johnson, opened in 1947. Morrison typed into his ledger system. His eyes widened. There was an account, untouched since 1950. $247,000, with 11 years of interest, total balance $392,000. Morrison stuttered. "Mr. Johnson, this account has been dormant for over a decade. We'd need to verify your identity." Bumpy pulled out his prison release papers, driver's license, social security card, everything in order. "I'll be withdrawing $50,000 in cash today and opening a new business account. I'll need a checkbook by tomorrow." By noon, word had spread through Harlem. Bumpy Johnson was out, and he had money, real money, the kind of money that could buy soldiers, influence, power. Day 2, June 10th, Bumpy didn't go after his enemies. He went after their soldiers. Started with the lowest level, street runners, the guys collecting numbers bets, the muscle standing outside corner stores. These weren't loyal men. They worked for whoever paid them, and most of them remembered Bumpy, remembered when Harlem was safe, when business was good, when the community respected their work instead of fearing it. Bumpy found Fast Eddie Morrison running numbers on 132nd Street. Eddie worked for Raymond the Turk Williams now, made decent money, but he was 29 years old. Remembered Bumpy from when he was a teenager. "Eddie," Bumpy said, approaching him on the street. "Mr. Johnson." Eddie's eyes went wide. "I heard you were out. I'm out, and I'm rebuilding. I need good men, men I can trust. You used to run numbers for me before I went away. You were good at it, fast, honest. That's why they called you Fast Eddie." Eddie shifted nervously. "Mr. Johnson, I work for the Turk now. He pays me $200 a week." Bumpy pulled out an envelope. $500. Starting this Monday. Plus a percentage of everything you collect. Plus protection. Real protection. Not the kind where you're just another body. The kind where you're family. Eddie looked at the envelope. Then at Bumpy. "The Turk will kill me if I leave. Let me worry about the Turk. Right now I'm asking you a simple question. Do you want to work for a man who treats you like a tool? Or do you want to work for a man who treats you like a human being?" Eddie took the envelope. "When do I start?" "Monday. Tell the Turk you're done on Friday. If he has a problem with that, give him my number." Bumpy repeated this conversation 17 times over the next 2 days. 17 soldiers, all working for either Smooth Henderson or Raymond Williams. All offered more money, better treatment, and most importantly, respect. By day 3, June 11th, Bumpy had gutted the mid-level operations of both organizations. But he still hadn't touched the Italians, hadn't challenged Smooth directly, hadn't made his move against the Turk. People were starting to wonder, what's he waiting for? Why isn't he striking? That's when Bumpy made his second move. He called a meeting, sent word through every channel he had, every old contact, every former soldier, every business owner who remembered the way things used to be. Sunday, June 11th, 8 p.m. Small's Paradise. Everyone who matters should be there. The audacity shocked the underworld. Bumpy Johnson, out of prison for 3 days, was calling a meeting like he still ran Harlem. Smooth Henderson heard about it, laughed, told his crew, "Let the old man have his party, we'll send flowers to his funeral on Monday." Raymond the Turk Williams heard about it, got angry, wanted to send soldiers to crash it. His advisors talked him down. "Let's see what he's got first. No point starting a war we don't need." The Genovese family heard about it, sent an observer, a captain named Tony Romano. "Don't interfere, just watch, report back." Day 4, June 12th, 8 p.m. Small's Paradise was packed. 200 people, old-timers who remembered Bumpy, young soldiers who'd only heard stories, business owners, policy bankers, numbers runners, even a few cops on Bumpy's old payroll who'd kept quiet all these years. Bumpy stood on the stage, no microphone, didn't need one. His voice carried, "11 years ago, I went to prison. I didn't fight it. I didn't run. I accepted responsibility for my actions, because that's what men do. While I was gone, some people thought Harlem was up for grabs, thought they could walk into my neighborhood and take what I built." He paused, looked around the room. I'm not angry about that. I understand it. Nature abhors a vacuum. When the king leaves, someone has to sit on the throne. The question is, were they worthy of it? He let that question hang in the air. For 11 years, this neighborhood has been at war. Businesses paying 3 different protection rackets. Families afraid to walk the streets at night. The police ignoring you because you don't have anyone powerful enough to make them listen. That's not Harlem. That's not the neighborhood I built. That's chaos masquerading as order. Bumpy stepped forward. I'm back now. And I'm giving everyone in this room a choice. You can keep working for men who see you as tools, who drain this community dry, who care more about profit than people, or you can come back to the way things were. Fair tribute, real protection, a neighborhood that takes care of its own. The room was silent. Then someone in the back stood up, an old policy banker named Julius. Mr. Johnson, what about Smooth? What about the Turk? What about the Italians? They're not going to just let you walk back in. Bumpy smiled. By Friday they won't have a choice. Day 5, June 13th. Bumpy made his move against Smooth Henderson. Not with bullets, with information. Bumpy had spent 11 years in prison with all kinds of criminals, including federal agents who'd been caught taking bribes, including accountants who'd laundered money for the mob, including corrupt cops who'd gotten caught and turned snitch. Bumpy had learned something valuable. Everyone has secrets, and secrets are more powerful than guns. Smooth Henderson had a secret. He'd been skimming money from the Genovese family, 20% off the top of everything he collected, hiding it in a bank account in New Jersey under his sister's name. The Italians didn't know. If they found out, Smooth was a dead man. Bumpy knew, had known for 3 years, had kept the information as insurance. Now it was time to use it. Bumpy called Tony Romano, the Genovese captain, who'd observed the meeting. Tony, we need to talk. They met at a diner in Queens, neutral territory. Tony was cautious. Bumpy, heard you were out. What can I do for you? Bumpy slid a folder across the table. You can stop letting Marcus Henderson steal from your family. Tony opened the folder. Bank statements, deposit records, dates, amounts, all showing Smooth skimming operation. Tony's face went dark. Where did you get this? I have friends everywhere, even in prison, even in banks. Tony closed the folder. Why are you giving this to me? Because Smooth Henderson is sitting on my throne, and I want it back. You remove him, I'll pay you the same percentage he promised, plus the 20% he was stealing, and I'll do it honestly. No skimming, no lies, just business. Tony thought about it. What about Raymond Williams? Let me worry about the Turk. They shook hands. By Wednesday afternoon, Marcus Henderson received a phone call. Mr. Henderson, this is Tony Romano. We need to discuss some financial discrepancies. Day 6, June 14th. Smooth Henderson was gone. Not dead, just gone. The Genovese family had given him a choice: return every dollar he stole and leave New York, or die. Smooth chose life. He was on a bus to Chicago by Thursday morning. Raymond the Turk Williams woke up to find that half his soldiers had quit overnight. All recruited by Bumpy. All paid better wages. All promised better treatment. The Turk still had maybe 40 men, but they were scared, demoralized, watching their operation fall apart in real time. That afternoon, Bumpy sent the Turk a message. Simple, direct. Leave Harlem by Friday, or I'll make you leave. The Turk was proud, angry. He called his remaining soldiers together. We're going to war. Find Bumpy Johnson, kill him. Kill anyone who works for him. Burn down Small's paradise. Show these people what happens when you disrespect Raymond Williams. But here's what the Turk didn't know. Bumpy had already paid off the Turk's 3 top lieutenants, not to betray him, just to tell Bumpy when and where the Turk planned to strike. So when the Turk sent 15 men to ambush Bumpy at Small's paradise on Thursday night, they found 50 cops waiting instead. Anonymous tip, weapons charges, assault with intent. Every one of the Turk's soldiers arrested. The Turk himself got picked up at 2 a.m. Illegal firearms. Conspiracy to commit murder. Bail set at $500,000. Day 7, June 16th. Exactly 1 week after Bumpy walked out of prison, Harlem was his again. Smooth Henderson gone. Raymond Williams in jail. The Genovese family paying tribute to Bumpy instead of the other way around. Small's paradise packed with every significant player in Harlem. All there to acknowledge one simple truth. Bumpy Johnson was back, and the throne had never really been empty, just temporarily unoccupied. Bumpy stood on that stage one more time, I told you on Sunday that by Friday, things would change. It's Friday. Things have changed. From today forward, Harlem operates the way it should. Fair business, fair tribute, fair protection. Anyone who wants to operate here knows the rules. Respect the community, respect the people, respect me. He paused, and if you can't do that, there's a bus to Philadelphia leaving every hour. I suggest you catch one. No one argued, no one challenged. Because in 7 days, Bumpy Johnson had done what everyone said was impossible. He'd taken back an entire neighborhood without firing a single shot, without killing a single person, just strategy, psychology, and the understanding that real power isn't in violence, it's in knowing exactly when and how to apply pressure. June 16, 1961, 7 days after walking out of prison, Bumpy Johnson sat in his office at Small's Paradise. Mechi finally came to see him. "You've been out a week and you're just now coming home?" Bumpy smiled. "Had to take care of business first." "And is business taken care of?" "It is." Mechi shook her head. 11 years in prison didn't teach you anything, did it?" Bumpy stood up, took her hand. "It taught me everything. Taught me patience, taught me strategy, taught me that the man who waits always beats the man who rushes." They walked out together, past the bar, past the stage, past 200 people who just watched history repeat itself. Because Bumpy Johnson had proven something that night. You can take a king off the board, but if he's smart enough, patient enough, and ruthless enough, he'll always find his way back.